All right, it's Mike and Andy from Outside Xbox here, and we've been playing the remake slash reimagining of Flashback for XBLA. So what did you make of the game so far?
Well, is it a remake, or, I mean, what is it? Because it looks similar to the first level of the original Flashback, which you might remember from the past. But it seems to have added a bunch of new stuff and new puzzles and equipment, and so I guess it's a kind of a remake with a bunch of stuff added to it, right? Was your impression of it?
Yeah, so visually it looks very similar to the first level of Flashback. The layout's slightly different. I think the biggest addition is a kind of free aim mechanic in the shooting, which changes the combat completely. There are fewer kind of enemies, but you have to be more precise about taking them out. A lot of the other mechanics, like running and jumping and kind of grabbing ledges and things like that, feel very similar. One thing it is missing is kind of that rotoscoped animation that made the first one look so good. I mean, it's a better looking game, obviously, but I think the animation's maybe taken a hit.
Well, I mean, for me, the controls, I think, felt a lot looser. Like on the Mega Drive, which is what I played it on originally, there'd be a lot of sort of stepping into place and lining yourself up under ledges. I was spending a lot of time kind of overrunning things, I think, just because I was expecting it to control like the old version. I mean, the animation looked fine to me. I mean, the original one obviously blew my mind at the time, being, what, 1990 or whenever it was. But this looked good. I mean, things like the addition of you have these glasses which sort of highlight things in the environment. You know, I managed to solve Flashback when I was sort of 6 or whatever, however old I was. So could probably have managed without that.
It's part of the storyline that's from the original. There is a kind of like a molecular density sort of goggles, but it was never used as a game mechanic in the original game.
No, it's the story of They Live, right? It's exactly the story of They Live. But yeah, I mean, I did get a nostalgic rush playing it. I was like, oh my god, this is taking me back to playing the original. So I'm really keen to play more. I didn't get to play a lot of it here, but it felt kind of familiar. It felt some of the new mechanics, I think, were good additions. I like you said, the free aiming. The combat felt better than the kind of the leaden combat from the original. So yeah, I'm definitely interested to play more.
It's really interesting to watch that intro sequence, which is almost shot-for-shot remake of the original one. I think what's going to be key is I think the second level in Flashback. I mean, the first one was kind of the visually iconic one, but I think the second level in Flashback is the one that really sort of opened people's eyes to the possibilities of kind of platformers on the 16-bit consoles. So it'd be really interesting if they can do that again for XBLA platformers.
Yeah, I mean, it does open out and get a lot more interesting later on when you have the kind of the Running Man style game show that you go on, and the courier missions, and then the alien world later on. So there is like quite a lot of diversity in the game if it sticks to the kind of the template of the original. So I think it's going to be a really kind of interesting, varied XBLA game. If it's like that. I mean, I don't know where they're going to take it, so I'll be interested to see.
I guess my only criticism was some of the voice acting was like a little bit shonky. At one point he says awesome sauce, but he just says awesome sauce. And it's like you haven't just been served any, like, you know, Thousand Island dressing or anything. It was a very, very strange sort of delivery of that line.
Yeah, well, it's, you know, it's set in the future. Maybe that's how the etymology of that evolves. That's how people say it in the future.
I like the apology for the terrible voice acting. All right, so that was Flashback on XBLA, coming soon, and we'll see you next time.